You're pathetic, Leah. No one will ever love you. Jessica Carter's words slithered into my ears as she flicked my tray of food onto the cafeteria floor. Laughter erupted around me, the kind that claws at your skin and lingers for years. Oops, she smirked, her designer sneaker crushing my sandwich. Guess you'll have to starve. Wouldn't want you getting fat too. I clenched my fists under the table, my nails biting into my palms. 5 years. 5 years since high school, and I could still smell the strawberry gum she'd snap while whispering lies about me to anyone who'd listen. Leah hooks up with teachers for grades. Leah's mom paid her way into college. All lies. But they stuck like tar. The worst part? She didn't even remember me when I bumped into her at Lux Bar last month. Do I know you? She'd asked, sipping her martini, her diamond bracelet catching the light. Leah Morris, I said, my voice steady. The girl you got suspended for stealing Principal Harris's wallet. The girl whose boyfriend you kissed at prom just to prove you could. She blinked, then laughed, that same honey-coated laugh that made teachers adore her. Oh my God, high school. Let it go. I watched her strut away, arm in arm with some guy in a Rolex, and something inside me snapped. Jessica Carter didn't get to ruin people and just move on. And as fate would have it, I just discovered her greatest weakness. Her father. The champagne flute nearly slipped from my fingers when I heard his name. Mr. Carter's here? The Marcus Carter? I whispered to Priya, my coworker, as we stood at the edge of the corporate gala. She nodded, eyes wide. CEO of Carter Holdings. Word is he's been lonely since his wife passed last year. My pulse spiked. Jessica's father. I'd seen him before, in tabloids, in the black Bentley that used to pick Jessica up from school. But in person? He was taller. Sharper. A storm gray suit hugging broad shoulders, his jawline shadowed with just enough stubble to make him look dangerous. And then he looked at me. Not the way men usually did, with pity or impatience. This was different. Calculating. Like he could see right through my cheap blouse and second-hand heels. You're not like the others, he said when he finally approached, his voice low enough to curl around my ribs. They stare at my wallet. You stare at me. The champagne turned acidic in my throat. This was my chance. I forced a smile, tilting my head the way I'd practiced in the mirror. Maybe I'm just wondering why a man like you is alone at his own party. A flicker in his eyes, pain or interest, I couldn't tell. Then his thumb brushed the inside of my wrist, and my breath caught. This wasn't part of the plan. But when he murmured, "Let's find out," and led me onto the balcony, I let him. The balcony doors clicked shut behind us, sealing us in the quiet hum of the city below. Marcus Carter didn't lean against the railing like other men. He claimed it, his silhouette cutting through the amber glow of skyline lights. So, he said, swirling his whiskey. Tell me why a girl who watches exits like a thief came to a party like this. Shit. He'd noticed. I'd been counting steps, scanning faces, prepping for escape. I forced a laugh, letting my clutch dangle carelessly. Maybe I just like knowing where the doors are. Smart. His gaze dropped to my mouth. But not an answer. The air between us thickened. I could smell his cologne, smoke and something expensive, the kind that lingers on skin for hours. My pulse hammered, but not from fear. This was the game. I stepped closer, close enough to see the flecks of silver in his eyes. What if I said I came for you? A beat. Then his free hand caught my hip, pulling me flush against him. The sudden heat of his body shocked me silent. Then I'd say you're lying, he murmured, thumb brushing the bare skin above my waistband. But I like the way you do it. His mouth hovered a breath from mine, testing, taunting. Every cell in my body screamed to run. Or ruin him. I never decided which. Because then his phone buzzed, the screen lighting up between us. Jessica, Dad, where are you? His grip tightened. And just like that, the game changed. The cathedral doors swung open, and 500 heads turned. I floated down the aisle in a gossamer thin veil and a dress that cost more than my college tuition, paid for by him. The whispers hit like gunfire. Who is she? Marcus Carter's marrying a nobody? But I only saw her. Jessica sat rigid in the front pew, her champagne silk dress crumpling in her fists. Her perfect lips trembled, not with tears, but rage. I made sure my smile dripped honey as I passed her. Then came the vows. Marcus's voice was rough velvet as he slid the ring onto my finger, his mother's diamond. Till death. The priest pronounced us husband and wife. And that's when Jessica snapped. You scheming bitch. Her heel cracked against marble as she lunged. Gasps erupted. Marcus caught her wrist mid-swing, his grip brutal. Enough. The single word silenced the room. Jessica wrenched free, mascara bleeding down her cheeks. She's using you. Don't you see? I said enough. His voice dropped to a whisper only we could hear. Unless you want your trust fund cut tonight. Her breath hitched. The crowd held theirs. Then. Congratulations, stepmom. She spat the word like poison before storming out, her sobs echoing through the church. Marcus pulled me close, his lips grazing my ear. Happy now? But his eyes weren't laughing. And suddenly, neither was I. Marcus loosened his tie, the fabric slithering through his fingers like a threat. The gala's champagne still burned my tongue, but his gaze burned hotter, locked on the pulse fluttering at my throat. You've been avoiding me since the wedding, he said. The accusation prickled my skin. 3 days. 3 days of stolen showers and locked bedroom doors. 3 days of reminding myself, this is revenge, not real. Just adjusting, I lied, pressing back against the cold metal. He stepped closer. The elevator hummed. To what? His knuckle grazed my collarbone. The money? The name? A pause. Or me? My breath hitched. His scent, whiskey and winter cologne, wrapped around me. Wrong. This is wrong. But when his palm flattened beside my head, caging me in, my body betrayed me. Heat pooled low in my stomach. Tell me to stop, he murmured, lips skimming my jaw. I should've. Instead, I fisted his shirt and dragged his mouth to mine. The kiss wasn't gentle. It was teeth and possession, his hands hauling me up against him like I weighed nothing. The elevator dinged, our floor, but he didn't let go. Not until my back hit the penthouse door, his thigh wedged between mine. Still adjusting, he growled against my lips. The truth clawed up my throat, I don't know what this is anymore. But as his teeth found my neck, I stopped caring. The attic smelled like dust and forgotten things. I hadn't meant to snoop, just storing Jessica's abandoned luggage, until the worn leather journal slipped from a silk-lined suitcase. Property of Jessica Carter glared up at me in gold foil. Curiosity burned. I flipped it open. And froze. Entry, May 12th. Dad always picks the same type, broken girls who think he'll save them. Like Leah. Perfect. My lungs collapsed. Entry, June 3rd. Told Dad Leah was using him. He laughed and said, I know. Does that mean? The pages blurred. My fingers trembled, flipping faster. Entry, yesterday. Leah has no idea she's the replacement. Mom's photo is still in his desk. Same brown hair. Same stupid locket. The journal slipped from my hands. That's when I saw it, peeking from beneath a stack of letters. A silver-framed photo. Her. Jessica's mother. I stormed into his study, the diary clutched in my shaking hands. Marcus barely glanced up from his paperwork. Find something interesting in the attic? The casual tone ignited me. I slammed the journal on his desk, sending his whiskey glass toppling. You knew. My voice cracked. This whole time, you knew why I married you. He leaned back, steepling his fingers. And you knew about my late wife. His gaze flicked to my locket. Yet here we are. The air left my lungs. He'd recognized it. Was I just some replacement? The words tasted like blood. Marcus stood slowly, circling the desk. At first. His thumb brushed my cheekbone, wiping away a tear I hadn't felt fall. But no one fakes the way you moan into my mouth, Leah. I recoiled. You're sick. And you're a liar. He trapped me against the bookshelf, his body radiating heat. But I prefer your lies to Jessica's truths. The admission stunned me silent. Somewhere in this twisted game, the rules had changed. His lips hovered over mine. Stay. Not for revenge. Not for money. A challenge. For this. When he kissed me, I didn't pull away. And that terrified me most of all. Jessica stood framed in the doorway, her designer dress immaculate, eyes blazing. Pathetic, she spat. You both disgust me. Marcus didn't even turn. Leave. Or what? She stepped forward, heels clicking like gunshots. You'll cut me off? Disown me? Go ahead, everyone already knows you replaced Mom with this cheap. Crack. The sound of my palm connecting with her cheek echoed through the study. Silence. Jessica touched her face, stunned. I was just as shocked. I'd never hit anyone before. Marcus exhaled sharply, almost a laugh. Get out, he told Jessica, low and lethal. Before I let her do it again. She fled, but the victory felt hollow. Because now it was just us. And the terrible, undeniable truth. Why did you stay? I whispered. When you knew what I was? Marcus cupped my stinging hand in both of his. Because I'm worse. His thumb traced my knuckles. At least you wanted revenge. I just wanted you. The confession hung between us, more intimate than any kiss. I had two choices. Walk away, prove I wasn't like him. Or stay, and admit I didn't care. When his mouth found mine, I didn't hesitate. The game was over. We'd both lost. And won.